Hi, I'm Deanne. I want to welcome you to Woodland Cemetery, and I want to thank you very much for volunteering. You're going to be recording headstones. Some of these headstones date back to the 1800s, and we do not have them recorded, and it will be nice for their family members who call who are interested in genealogy to see if their ancestors have a headstone. So thank you very much for volunteering today. When you arrive today at Woodland Cemetery, you will receive a clipboard with paper on it and a pencil. You are going to start recording the headstones. When we record headstones, we're going to start at one end of the block and we're going to go in rows. So, when you first get your clipboard, I want you to write on the top the name of the block that you were assigned so I know where the headstones are located. I'm in block 22, so at the top of my paper, I am going to write block 22. Then I'm going to write row 1. And I will start recording my headstones. As we're going, we started in row 1, and as you notice, we went to the end of that row and we serpentine back, which means we're doing like a snake, back and forth through the cemetery. And again, I want to tell you that I do not need their month and the date that they were born. I just need the year they were born and the year that they died. That's the only two dates that are very important to me. I am beginning in my block 22, row 1. My first name on my stone is Hallett. I am going to write Hallett. As you can see, there's no dates or nothing. This is called a family stone. So I would like you to draw a box around it. That will tell me that this is their family stone. Now I am going to start moving forward with my row. So I come to, by now my rows aren't going to be straight, so you're going to have to pick this one up. So my next stone is going to be this Hazel Marjorie Hallett. So on my paper, I am going to write her name, Hazel Marjorie Hallett. And then I want her date of birth, which was 1908, and she died in 1908. So I'm going to write that on my paper. And then I'm going to keep moving forward. And I'm going to do the same with every stone. I am going to write their name and their birth date and their death date. So I'm going to continue until I get to the end of this row. Now I'm at the end of the row. So now I'm going to write row 2. And then I'm going to start recording, and I'm going the opposite direction now. I am going to walk down to my very first stone, which is Helen Greenleaf. You will notice on the top of the stone it says daughter, but what I need is their name. Some stones will not have the name, so please, if it don't have a name, just write daughter and continue to the next stone. And we will continue recording every headstone till we get to the end of this row. Now we are at row 3. And as you can see, this is a unique stone. It's turned the opposite direction. So you're going to still have to record it and make sure it's still in row 3. I'm going to have to come up here and read the name on the top of the stone, which the last name is Ray. Again, this is a family stone, so I want you to draw a box around it, which tells me again that it is a family stone. Now, the stones over here belong with this one, so I want you to make sure you catch this in row 3. So you're going to write Mother, 1855 to 1919. I do not need April 15th. I just want the date, the year they were born, and the year they died. So we're going to continue. And then, as we come around this big family stone, we see this stone, the writing's on the opposite side, so we actually have to walk around to get the writing off the other side of the stone. But this still is row 3. So we will write down Jeremiah Johnson. And if you notice, there's more than one person on this stone. So you're going to have to list all 3 people. So I know that all 3 people are buried here. As we progress through our block, we will notice that there are a lot of stones that are turned opposite directions. That is because this cemetery was built in 1848, and at that time they didn't do straight rows like we do nowadays. They sometimes had lots that were in a circle, sometimes they had lots that were in a pie shape. This was called family plots back then. So when you're walking through here, you will notice all the different stones. Make sure you record every stone no matter which direction they are.
Okay.
As you guys are walking in the cemetery, you will notice that the ground is not completely level. There will be bumps and dips, so be careful where you walk and watch for holes, because this is an old cemetery, and you will see here, this is a hole here, so be careful where you step. So now that you're finished, I want you to give these papers to your teacher, and then when you go to the next block, again, start, tell me what block you're in, write the number, the name of the block, block 22, 23, or whatever block you are recording, and start over just like we did before. We start with row 1, and we're going to serpentine through the block. As we're beginning to record our headstone, we are going to start at the corner of a block. That's where you begin. Make sure you always start at a corner. It doesn't matter if you're on what side of the block you're on, but start at a corner and follow the rows. Sometimes when you're recording that you will see a stone and you will not be able to make out the name. Tell me that there's a stone there and give me any information that you can get off the stone. Even if it's just one letter like the letter D, then I know that I can try to compare that with records in the office. You will notice that this stone has been turned over, so you cannot read a name on the stone. I still want you to record it. Make note, draw a little box saying that you cannot read the stone, but there is a stone here. When you come upon this stone, please write broken stone on your paper so I do know that there is a stone and that it is broken. As you're recording the headstones, you will see some of the unique headstones here at the cemetery. This one is a shape of a tree. This would represent a tree of life, and so they used to say that they would put this down there as their head marker, and this would represent their family, and they have their family names on it. This is another unique stone. As you can see on the top of this stone is a Bible. The Bible is closed. That represented that there's no one left in their family. When the Bible is open, that means there are other people still alive, but when they have a closed Bible like this, that tells us that all their family members have passed. You still need to record these headstones. All unique headstones need to be recorded, even the tree of life that I showed you a little while ago. I want you guys to notice this. This is a mausoleum. On the top of the mausoleum is their name. You need to record that so I know that this was here. Inside this mausoleum are burials. So they have maybe 5 or 6 people who are interred in this mausoleum. But you need to record the name Sherman for me. Now we are on the side of the Sherman mausoleum. So this is a row. As we continue this way, we'll find another mausoleum. But we're still in our row. We're going to continue here and keep going till we end at the end of this row. So when you encounter a mausoleum, it is just a part of another row. So just keep continuing on, and you will find a lot of mausoleums here at Woodland. Okay, I'm still in a row. I had continued down my row and I encountered this. As you can see, this is outlined by a border. This is called a family plot. So the name is down here at my feet. You'll read the name. So you'll record the name, and I want you to record every stone inside this border as a row with that same row. As we're going in here, you will see some of these just say father, mother. They might not have names. They'll say father, mother, infant. Record those within this border. Then I'm going to continue on with my row. Now I'm finished recording this family plot. And I look up and I go, oh my gosh, there's 2 different ways to go. I want you to make sure you record both stones. Just consider it as one row. Just continue forward. Catch the stone on your right, the stone on your left, and then you'll go back into a single row. Alright, I've been standing in front of Governor Merrill's mausoleum. His family members are buried inside here. I just want to do a recap of how to record headstones. When you arrive here at Woodland Cemetery, again, you will be given a clipboard, paper, and pencil. You will be assigned a block. When you get to your block, you will start at a corner of the block. Okay, so when you arrive at your block, you will determine where you start. You will always start at one of the corners of the block, and you will go in a row. You will write on your paper row 1, and then you will start and you will move forward. When you get to the end of your row, you're going to serpentine back, and you're going to put row 2, and you're going to continue on recording all your headstones. Now remember, I told you before there are unique stones here at Woodland Cemetery. So remember the points that I pointed out. If you get to a family plot and it branches off and you look like there's 2 rows, just make sure you record every headstone that you see.